I don't know what it is about attaching the camera to like something else with the subject, but it is honestly dope. Like here. All right, what's up, everybody? My name's Marquet. I go by local Marquet, and my friends call me Q. Today I'm going to be looking at a music video that I was a cinematographer and assistant director on, and that video is Neiori's IDK by Waxbando. So that can be found on YouTube. I'll leave a link here. Maybe I'll add a caption, whatever one of those pop-up bubbles are, to kind of let people see the video for themselves. But I'm going to be kind of reviewing things and showing off some of the equipment that I used here for the video. So let's just get into it. It's right here. So breaking into the first shot, this is a layered shot right here. It's right in front of this nice ice cream parlor, I believe it was. Maybe it was a cafe in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. But the idea, I guess, was to go with more of the pink building along with the pink hair, and then you have like the pastel blue that accentuates the background of it on more of a cinematography aspect. And then of course we shoot it on the corner, so we get those leading lines coming in from the sides here. And I'll probably just pull up a diagram to show you a little bit of that. But it's a very nice low shot just to kind of emphasize her height and, you know, magnitude and her importance in the scene. It's something that you see a lot in music videos. This very wide angle lens to kind of distort the field and give it a little bit more of a presence for the artist, so you can feel the performance rather than it just being, you know, documentary. So right here on this first effect we have what's called a plate, and a plate is essentially a background image without the artist or without anything that you were planning on using for the edit in it. And this plate is shot in slow shutter, meaning that the imagery is a little bit more smeared because of the motion blur, the movement in it, even though it's still in the tripod. So our plate here is in slow shutter, and then we went along to shoot a whole separate plate or a subject section for the performance, at least, where we could then rotoscope it out and place it in front of the slow shutter plate, giving that effect where you kind of see that Neiori has more of a natural motion blur to her, and the background has this very exaggerated, very expressionist, artistic look to it with the moving motion blur. Especially kind of helps the undertone vocals there too, so I think that's a nice reinforcement of that. Alright, so this personally is one of my favorite parts of the video, and this part of the video is where she looks at the ice cream cone in her hand, but it's all done like very perspective wise. So for this we used a GoPro instead of using a camera because it was going to be a lot heavier weight, and we used kind of a clamp and then a magic arm that is adjustable, then attaching the camera onto that with a nice spigot or screw that was, I think, about a 1/4 So we then used the spigot with the 1/4 thread on it to put the GoPro on it and clamp that to the ice cream cone. It did crack a little bit actually, but we used napkins to kind of hold it all together, just to make sure it didn't spill. And ice cream is kind of like a little dented, so it held on, essentially. Yeah, it held on, and we were able to use it for the shot here. So she kind of has the this effect where the ice cream is clamped to the subject and mundane item. I thought that was a really good detail that Wax put in there. Wax was really cool about having ideas in terms of being able to like move the camera with the object, like seen in some of your favorite films. And I've always wanted to do some more shots like that, so this was a nice opportunity to do it. So at this point in time in the video, there are a bunch of close-ups on her face, and a lot of those are shot on a macro lens. It's kind of very easy to be able to get that framing with any lens, but with the macro lens you can kind of just get really close in and focus on certain details, whether it just be the eyeball, just the lips, maybe just her lip ring, and allowing her to like have these moments where it's just an isolated piece of her face or a facial feature or an eye or a hand or something of the sort that allows you to pretty much lock on to that area. You can't move the camera much with it because macro is one of those things where if you move too far forward or too far back, you go out of focus. So we had to keep it on a tripod and had Neiori stay very still for some of the parts of these videos. Quick shout out to Colorbox on the VHS in this video, because all the VHS in this video is very nuts. Bro had some of the cleanest, most interesting shots and like interesting footage. Colorbox is great at it. Crazy with the handheld. My man is a handheld warrior. This is another example of that plate I was talking about there, and some more close-up footage. More slow shutter. And then here you can really see that effect of them kind of being separated from the two plates with the regular motion and the exaggerated slow shutter. Night vision, gotta love that. So I don't know what it is about attaching the camera to like something else with the subject, but it is honestly dope. Like here's some BTS pictures of us attaching the stuff. And here's some BTS video as well too. Okay, yeah. But BTS videos and pictures of this, but I just absolutely love attaching my camera to like things that generally unconventionally aren't attached to. Like it's just very interesting having that perspective of an item or something that you wouldn't even think of, like something mundane like a book or you know whatever, bro. Clamps and being able to attach your camera to stuff, so interesting. It just adds this extra storytelling technique of being able to be like, come along with us, and here's a perspective of this from this item, here's a perspective of this from high up, from very low up. Like camera placement and composition, it can really be everything when it comes to storytelling. So just make sure that when you're telling your story, there's a purpose behind it, and there's a kind of a vibe that this fits, and this kind of fits that hyperpop vibe in a very clean cut. Like this is a very clean cut, clinical, very commercial style video where this video could go very far. So I hope that it keeps blowing up how it does. Honestly, it's my favorite video that I've ever shot, favorite video I've ever DP'd. In terms for lighting for this video, I was using a Aputure 600C for the outside scenes, and that's where you kind of see that warm light on them and the Georgetown cliff. That area is like really popular, and we were over there with the 600C Aputure light, and we kind of tinted it a little bit warmer for the time of night, also in contrast with the city lights in the back. That was just on a regular combo stand, nothing too important about that, and a couple of V-mount batteries to power it since we're outside, we didn't have any outlets on the cliff with us. So that's what we used for lighting during the party scenes. Other than that, we had a few like small, just handheld lights, and we didn't even need it for some of this stuff because we were using night vision, and also just had the FX3 on us, which is a very capable camera in terms of low light. Cinematography itself is about being able to capture whatever is in the frame and using whatever light you have available. So to have that 600C out there and then a couple of smaller lights was really dope. A couple of tube lights, and then I brought along an Aputure MC to kind of help shoot a lot of the close-up scenes. That's actually what's lighting the blue in the back right there, in that area there. Is an Aputure MC small, very like pocket square light. And that was a light that really helped along the process of being able to shoot this video, especially when we had those close-up nighttime scenes. I needed just a little bit extra light on top of the camera. For the studio scene in this video, that was shot all pretty much with the Aputure lantern adapter along with the 600C one more time. So it was just pretty much on straight white light, probably like 5600 Kelvin. And I put it on the lantern and kind of put it above in the air to kind of just softly light the entire scene, not too worried about the background or anything like that. If you want to light your background separately, then just place the light in the back, you know, keep it away from the subject and then backlight it and then get that same key light. But with the lantern, I just felt like we just need one light, kind of ambient light the room, keep it very soft. When you're shooting a woman, you want to use more beauty lighting. Typically, you can use harsher lighting, but for this type of video where it wants to be more like mainstream commercial look and very clean cut, I think it's better to just soft light her face, keep it very diffused, and allow it to bring out more of like the nice flattering features in a woman's face. And then we got the Man Wax logo coming out the back end. Alright, so just to talk about some of the gear I used in this video. In this video I used a 8-15 L Series Canon lens and a 100mm L Series macro lens by Canon as well. And both of those were adapted with a Metabones EF to F adapter, I believe it is, or it's EF to E. I always get the mounts mixed up a bit, but I was essentially moving Canon glass over to a mirrorless Sony system, and that's what I was using on the FX3 for this video. The other lens I used was a 70-200 G Master Sony lens, which allowed me to kind of stay really far back and shoot like she was on the stage for a performance for some of the higher up scenes. So it gets really interesting with the kind of lenses you can use onto things that weren't just the main body. We used a VHS camera and a GoPro for that one mounted shot on the ice cream cone, and then for a few other shots throughout the video, just some close-ups where she's kind of vlogging and everything. It was a really fun video for sure. I do appreciate you guys watching the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.